Mm-hmm.
Here we go!
All right, we're back again.
And we're back.
Hey, folks.
2 episodes for the week.
Yeah,
2 shows.
Tony was uncomfortable with that.
I didn't like it very much.
And we're back.
Oh, he's doing it again. All right.
All right. Welcome back, everyone. I am sick as a dog today.
So is Tony.
So is Tony, so this should be
Tony is
interesting.
still sick. Matt is newly sick.
Yes.
And I am not sick, so
Greg,
fuck
no.
all you guys.
Yeah.
I've got the antibodies of a fucking...
A gay guy got me sick.
What?
How embarrassing is that?
That's how he got
You gotta
sick.
stop making out with gay guys.
I wasn't making out. We just shared a bed. that's not even a lie. We were at a conference.
Who is this?
And Joe and I.
Oh,
Joe.
okay.
We literally shared a bed, and then I woke up sick. So I think you might have been doing something when I was asleep.
That bastard.
Yeah.
Feet like injecting you with some sort of virus.
I'm thinking just doing general
Open
gay stuff.
mouth.
General
Yeah.
gay stuff.
Just open mouth stuff. You know what it's like.
All right, so we got a guest today, Greg.
Yes, we do. Today we have a guest. His name is Tommy Ryman. Tommy Ryman is a very successful stand-up comic here from the Twin Cities in Minneapolis. He... What?
going. Keep
Oh, Matt's like giving me like announcements.
Everybody's devices are off. The Wi-Fi.
Oh, yes, that's right.
yeah,
yes.
yeah.
So Tommy Ryman is a successful stand-up comic from the Twin Cities. He was just on this past seasons of Last Comic Standing, and I'll let him talk a little bit more about that. But very funny guy. You can listen to him on Spotify. You can follow him on @TommyRyman on Twitter. I'm pretty sure he's got an Instagram, but I'll let him plug all that stuff. But we're really excited to have him. He's super funny, really nice guy, and I think we're going to have a really fun show. I'm not sure. I think he might be a football fan, too, so that might be fun to talk about. I'm not certain.
I'm certainly not looking forward to talking about football.
Tony is having a terrible week
Yeah.
in fantasy football
I'm
this
just
week.
getting my butthole creamed here.
You know what? So am I, because for like one time, I'm thinking, you know what? Reggie Bush has been getting me like 0 points. Hey, you want to...
Yes, thank you.
That's what it is. Matt's like sitting here going, what the hell is going on?
We have the
What
air
is that
conditioning
noise,
on.
dude?
Yeah, right behind Matt.
All right. Oh, that's done. Okay. Sorry.
Let's just restart. Let's just do the whole thing over again. Play the intro song. We'll do it from the beginning.
I'm really curious. I really want to know the backs or the inside shit about. I can't even think today. The words are just gonna poop.
Oh
out of my
yeah,
mouth.
no. When you're congested like that, like your thoughts, I swear, like it's like your
It
thoughts
messes with
literally get like slowed up.
I just want to figure out like the kind of like what goes on behind the scenes.
And Last Comic Standing.
Yeah, I think
I'm
that'd be-
very
That's what I'm
interested in
really
that.
curious
Yeah.
because what they're showing you on TV is
Yeah.
So
not
different.
what's fucking happening.
Yeah, and you
I
know
can tell
that,
you that.
I'm pretty sure they have like teleprompters and all that kind of
Sure,
stuff, and
sure.
between having been ushered around all day by like all sorts of people telling you what to do and all
Yeah.
that stuff, like I'm sure by the time you actually get on stage, it's not that easy to have a
Yeah.
good 5-minute set because you're just like everyone's been yelling at you like,
Well-
hey, get into makeup, hey, do this,
Yeah.
hey, run
well,
over
you
here.
know, and I don't watch Last Comic Standing, but I wonder how much time they actually get. Like, I don't know if they do any cutting, like any
Yep.
shots, or if it's like literally 5 minutes of camera on
Right.
you, and that's your 5 minutes or something
Yep.
like that. That'd be interesting to explore.
Yeah, we'll get to talk to him about that, and he's super open about all that stuff, and I think he'll be a great resource for us as far as just kind of finding out the back end of these talent competitions.
I agree.
Yeah, I remember back in the day, I used to be a huge American Idol fan. Right, I
yeah.
loved the show
Who
back in the
wasn't?
day.
It was a
We
good
didn't really-
show.
I
Never
had
got into that
I
show.
had all of my dreams crushed when I went online and I did some investigative journalism to look at like behind the scenes for American Idol, and that shit is so set up.
Oh yeah,
Like,
I'm sure.
I'm
yeah.
sure like everyone knows it, and I was
Right.
the only one who didn't understand that.
Well, by
But,
setup,
like,
what do you mean by setup?
well, okay, so like the auditions, everyone's favorite
Oh,
part
of
of the
course,
auditions,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like those are.
they film a bunch of shitty people on purpose.
Well, they have the first stage of auditions, which is like the big shot that you see inside of like a stadium, like inside of XL. And then
Right,
tens
right,
of
right.
thousands of people show up, and then they have a bunch of
Mike. Sorry.
they have a bunch of like stations set up where people will come and audition, and they're not auditioning
Mm-hmm.
in front of like the judges; they're auditioning in front of like producers and people like that.
Right,
and they'll
right,
get
right.
like a green card, which means you go ahead and you're going to be on the show, and you're going to get a gold card in front of Simon and Paula and whoever, or you get a red card, which means you're on there because you're bad, or they get a yellow card, which is like we'll let the judges decide.
Oh, so the people who are bad, they know they're bad?
Yeah, they're put forward because they're bad, because they're not going to be on the show. And then you get like
And those people are fine with continuing the audition?
I don't know, man.
If I got a red card, I'd be like, yeah, fuck you, and I'd walk out. Why would you want to go on national television so people could laugh at you?
So they give them a red card without them even auditioning, or do they have?
No,
to
they go
They
audition
do like
for
a,
the
they do like a
producers.
preliminary audition in front
Oh.
of a producer of some sort.
That's
And
how
they're
Last
taking
Comic
in-
Standing is, too.
Yeah, they're taking in like tens of thousands of people and then narrowing it down to the people that you could conceivably see on screen.
Huh.
Yeah. No, I think that's how it works
Makes
for.
Yeah.
I think that's how it works for a lot of those kinds of shows where the initial audition is usually not in front of the celebrity judges, but
Oh, yeah.
usually in front of a producer who, I mean, in all honesty, knows very little about whatever it is that you're auditioning for.
Well, what they know is TV and what's going to
Right,
sell. I mean,
they don't know.
You need an X ratio of good people to bad people
Right,
to keep
right.
people involved.
No.
And it's the same for Last Comic Standing. They didn't do, I mean, the difference between Last Comic Standing this year as opposed to other years is they didn't do the street auditions for, like, they didn't show and televise the street auditions for Last Comic Standing. So essentially the way you audition for Last Comic Standing, and Tommy can maybe clarify this later, is you sort of got a tap on the shoulder from someone that is within the industry who recommended you for the audition.
Oh, okay.
And then you go and audition because they recommended you. So not everyone gets a chance to do that. You have to get that tap.
Sure.
That little tap on the shoulder from whoever it is.
That's kind of bullshit. I mean, it makes sense why they do it, but at the same time, it's like there's no such thing as
That's-
the
dude, that's how it is, though.
The guy that fucking just goes up there and
how it
next thing
is.
he's the next big thing.
Oh, yeah, no.
But here's the thing,
But
man.
that's for TV, though. But that's for TV because if you look at it for real life, though, those situations do still happen.
Yeah.
It doesn't.
Nick Swartzen's a perfect example. Chris Rock just happened to be in the audience that night.
Yeah, but it
Yeah,
doesn't work
you know.
like that. It doesn't work like that for comedy. It might work like that for like music, for American Idol, because if you can sing, you can sing.
Well, it just did for comedy, though.
No,
And
but I'm
when
saying-
Chris Rock was in the audience.
right.
that's what
No, but
saying.
I'm saying like as far as taking a person off the street.
Oh, yeah.
And making them a stand-up comic and making them
Yeah,
go on
yeah.
last. It's impossible because for Last Comic Standing, if you're going to go all the way through the entire competition, you got to have like a half an hour to an hour of material.
Yeah.
Because if you're doing 5 minutes
Well,
every
and-
week, you got to be able to have 5 good minutes every
Yeah.
week. No one's writing
Well,
5 minutes every
in
week.
the same, yeah. So in that circumstance, yes, if you're trying to take someone off the street and breathe them into a stand-up comic, it doesn't work. But if you
Takes
take someone off the street that's, I guess, been doing it for a while,
Yeah, if you get
Yeah,
like,
it's a
a
different
like a
situation.
local comedian,
But that's
they
the
can
point.
have a
That's why you
chance.
get the shoulder tap because
Yeah.
it's a way to vet out all the people who just don't have. It's a way
Like
to
I'm
vet out.
two fucking feet from the sun here.
It's a way to vet out all of the people who. It's a way to vet out all the people who just shouldn't be on the show.
Yeah.
Just kind of the fodder because it's not. Because they're just not ready for it,
Sure.
And I kind of like that concept. It's difficult though because you really do have to know somebody. I mean, you really got to know someone who can give that tap on the shoulder for you. And again, I'd love for Tommy to clarify all this. Maybe I'm a complete idiot. None of that's true. But that's
hope
what I've
you're
heard.
wrong on everything.
That's what I've heard.
Yeah.
That's what I've heard. I'm actually considering auditioning for America's Got Talent next year.
Are you?
Yeah, I've thought about it a lot, and I'm really thinking about it. I don't have
know if
anyone.
comics
Don't
do
you
that
have to
well,
be
though,
like
on that.
a naturalized citizen,
I am.
something like? Don't you have to be like born in the
No,
United
you don't have
States?
to be born in the USA.
Yeah, it's not the
I
president
mean,
of the
it's
United States.
America's Got Talent. We don't want a bunch of immigrants coming and taking over our reality television.
They already have. So yeah, I've thought about it a lot. I don't know anyone to give me the shoulder tap for Last Comic Standing. I just don't think I'm going to get it. Thanks.
I'll
Tommy.
tap. I'll
I'll
just
tap.
fucking go wait with you in line.
Thank you.
Yeah.
This guy, get him up.
Hey, tap! Hey, I got a tap right here. Tapping.
And
Who are you?
so
It doesn't matter.
I found
Tapping
out
him.
though,
It doesn't matter.
for America's Got Talent, they you can submit a video.
Oh.
And what I've realized about that show in the times that I've seen it is it seems like they really want a good human interest story.
Sob
Because
story.
it's TV. Like primarily they want someone who was like, I have this, and this, and these are my issues, but despite it all, I'm here and auditioning because this is my dream. Like that's what they like. I feel like.
Okay.
And so I think I'm gonna, I'll send them a little video about how I've been doing magic and performing since I was a little boy in Ukraine, and now I'm in America. It's just something like that.
Are you going to go for a comedy or magic though?
Comedy, definitely
okay,
comedy.
got it.
I mean, but it's just like the performance
About a
aspect that I've
comedy
been
magician.
doing. No,
Make it
fuck
gas
that.
magic.
No way. So I'm gonna try to go for something like that and see if I can swing that. And I don't know. We'll see. I don't want to feel like I'm gonna get in just like on the basis of the human interest story because that would make me feel kind of shitty.
Yeah.
But if it helps, I'm not above. Like if it helps, I'm not above using it.
Well, but you're not using it. I mean,
It's
you're
true.
just-
It's my
just a
actual
true
story. Yeah, it's my.
I
Actual
mean,
not
you,
like
you
you're-
could certainly fluff it up a little bit. Like, the conflict in the Ukraine in the last year has really just been
Right.
detrimental. I haven't been able to talk to my family back there.
It's not like you're a fake Iraqi war vet.
Yeah.
No.
like that happened.
Well, and like I do
Remember
have
that story?
I do remember that story. That man was a piece of shit.
Yeah.
I do have like a legitimate story though. I was when I was in Ukraine, I was a really big fan of David Copperfield. A huge fan of David Copperfield. He's my favorite magician. And when we got our first VCR, which was a big deal, we got that in like 1996.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah.
2 years before I left for America.
that whole region is like 15 years behind
Yeah, it
everything
takes
else.
a little while.
We got one of those VCRs that were like the
Stop! Hammer time.
Yeah, where the tape deck or the place where you put the tape goes up like
Yeah.
this from the top of it, and so we put the tape in there, and my dad bought me a David Copperfield tape because he knew how much I loved magic. I'd watch those things over and over and over again.
Yeah.
And when my parents decided we were going to come to America, they told me they didn't know how to explain to me why we were going to America because how do you explain it to a 7-year-old? Like there's better opportunities. I don't know what that means.
Yeah.
For me, it's just you're taking me away from all my friends.
All
So
my other magicians.
So they told me, they said that David Copperfield lives in America and that I would get to go to America and learn magic with David Copperfield. Like they
The
said
old
that,
bait and switch.
Oh, you're such a sucker.
they
you
said
got
that I would get
suckered
to
in.
go and learn. I was fucking 7, you guys.
Yeah.
So they
Fucking
told me
gullible.
They told me I was going to get to go and work with David Copperfield and meet him, and I was so excited. So and then I came to America, and the worst part of the story is it took me like half a year to a year before I realized that was not going to happen. Like I thought about.
Did they
that
send you
happening
to
for a
like some weird like Russian
Magic
neighborhood
camp?
magic guy or something that pretended to be
no,
David
not really.
This
Copperfield?
guy's just fucking lifting weights back there.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna go get Tommy Ryman.
All right, Tommy's coming up
All right.
in a minute. I actually met David Copperfield. I think I talked to you
Really?
about that. Yeah.
I
when was a
saw
kid.
him when I was many years ago, and it was amazing.
Was it at
but
the Target Center?
I saw him at the Orpheum.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
I saw him at the Target Center that one time, and I've told a story before, but he was just. I went to go get his autograph
Yeah.
afterwards, and God forbid you just have your hat or something. You don't want
Yeah.
you want him to. You have to buy the glossy,
Yeah.
And then I've said it before, but he was he had these 2 rocks, and then he was on this rock, and he had these 2 women clambering to his feet, and fans blowing on him, and his fucking hair. Just a douche.
Yeah.
It ruined my whole.
Yeah.
He didn't even look at me either. He just grabbed the piece. Did he grab it or did he have an assistant? I think his assistant or something grabbed it,
Put it in front of him.
gave it to him, and he went like this, and then he just handed it back.
Oh,
He was wearing one of those frilly shirts like a fucking pirate. It was.
and he had the wind blowing.
Yes,
and
and little long hair,
Yeah.
when he had the long hair and shit. Just really ruined my whole
see, and that's
idea
why
of David
I
Copperfield.
really think that it's important to never meet your heroes.
yeah. Because it'd just be a
Yeah, no,
dickbag,
well, because it'll fuck you up. Like every so often, you'll come across a story of a celebrity who's a really class act. I
Yeah.
heard that Russell Brand's a really good guy, and
Yeah.
Johnny Depp. You
Yeah.
know, those guys are super super awesome, and I'm a huge Johnny Depp fan. But yeah, apart from that, I don't think I'd ever want to meet someone that I really admire.
Yeah, exactly. Because what if you do?
Well, yeah,
And then
I mean,
they're just an asshole, and they're like, God damn it.
yeah.
I've met a few people that were famous. I don't know, semi-famous, kind of.
Yeah.
Or not, but it was interesting. Tommy, hello. Thanks for coming. That's okay.
Hello.
Have a seat. Here? Yeah, but right there is fine. I'm Matt.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Yeah, you too.
Tony.
Thanks for coming.
How's it going?
All right.
All right, we found us a Tommy Ryman.
Yes.
I'm here.
Tommy Ryman in the house.
How was the drive?
It was good.
It's good.
I drove. They closed 35W. Though.
Yeah.
That's why I
You're gonna have to deal with that.
Yeah.
rerouted me.
Yeah, we saw that. I think you ran into it too.
Yeah,
On the way here.
because it like kind of came up out of nowhere. I was going up 62, and then all of a sudden it was like,
Yeah.
can't get in.
It's all right though. I found other roads.
Well,
Yeah.
I thought that like since you were coming from Wisconsin,
That's a neighborhood we're doing this in.
Yeah.
that's right.
A lot of dark folk. Right?
There's
A lot of dark
crime.
folk.
There's crime.
I'm not sure what dark folk is.
Like
That's not specific
seedy
enough.
individuals.
Oh, seedy.
You thought I was
okay.
talking about their skin color.
I
Fucking
definitely
racist.
did. That was my bad. But yeah, I thought since you were coming from Wisconsin, you wouldn't have that same issue. But
No, I came home first.
Oh,
and
you
then-
went to- okay, you went back to
I
your
wanted
house.
to say hello to my wife, and then I was.
oh, okay.
But I literally got in at like 3. So.
Oh, really? Okay.
Did some shows over the weekend?
Yeah, I was in Madison at the Comedy Club on State with Judah Friedlander.
Oh,
from
nice.
30
That's so
Rock.
cool.
Right on.
He was awesome.
How'd the shows go?
They were super fun. Madison's a really good town.
Yeah.
Madison's such a good town for comedy. I would imagine you guys sold out like every show.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
So it was good. The crowds are pretty wild. It's just a big college town.
Yeah.
So.
I have friends at Madison.
Who emceed for you guys?
This kid named David Fisher, and then they had another kid, David Freeberg on the Thursday. They kind of switch up just local guys.
Oh yeah, on Thursday I think is when they do this kind of thing where that's how they audition their MCs. I think because I've come and MC'd for them, and I'm only supposed to be there from Friday to Saturday, and then they have like another guy that's from like local that
Yeah,
does
yeah.
the
So-
Thursday night show.
But they're really funny. They've got a good scene there, so I had fun.
Nice. How many shows?
You just do Thursday, and then 2 Friday, 2 Saturday, so 5 shows.
5 shows.
And then back home.
Yeah.
Did you get any footage? Because they just installed that really nice HD camera over there, and they've been like,
Yeah,
they've
I think they gave me like a tape, or he
Yeah.
handed me a DVD or something. So
It's super
that's pretty
nice. Yeah, because they like the footage is great. They really like spent the time miking up the theater. So I think I don't know. I find miking stand up comedy to be so hard because you got to like just get the perfect mix of the audience and you. Because if you don't mic the audience enough, it's just like it ends up being
Doesn't
so.
sound like people are laughing at you.
Well, it
Yeah,
just
yeah.
sounds so weird because the timing's off. Because you're like pausing, but you can't really hear the laughter. So you're like, this guy's not doing so hot.
Right, yeah.
I didn't even realize they were miking the audience. So they do just a little bit, just to kind of get the.
I think so. I think what they do is they set up a couple of mics pointed in the direction of the audience for the camera's sake.
Oh, for the camera.
You don't hear it.
Not
like-
for the comedian's self-confidence, just more.
No, there's no like monitor on stage that
Yeah.
like plays the laughter at
Okay.
you just so you
I
can
have
hear
headphones. It's just like this audience laughing, and then my mom saying encouraging things.
Yeah, yeah.
You're doing so good up there. Just
Yeah.
keep it going.
We're still proud of you.
it. That's like when
Oh,
musicians
do that one
have
about
that
the
thing.
Pope.
Yeah, yeah.
Because I just anticipate that you have like an Irish Catholic mother.
Some kind of guilt is happening somewhere.
Yeah.
So, last comic standing. We wanted to talk about that.
Yeah, yeah.
It's interesting stuff.
I don't know how much. Do they have you sign any kind of like non-disclosure agreement about anything?
Well, mostly it was I couldn't talk about it before the show
Sure.
aired.
Okay,
like,
but now you can talk about whatever.
Yeah, yeah. So
Yeah, what are they going to do?
Expose their deepest, darkest
yeah.
secrets.
there's nothing really I could
They
reveal.
kept us in
so.
a cattle car. It was the worst experience ever.
No, I've auditioned for the show before. This was the best, experience. Like I think they were about treating the comics like really good this year. So that it wasn't like, variety. Like they weren't looking for like the goofy guy.
Sure.
Right.
They really wanted to showcase
The
comics.
good,
so,
the
yeah.
comics who have been doing it for a while.
Yeah.
right?
So
And we were just talking about that a little bit before you came, and I had just mentioned that in the previous years they did kind of an American Idol sort of approach where it's just people off the street, that kind of thing. But this year, in order to audition, you kind of had to get like a bit of a shoulder tap from someone to get you into that audition, right?
yeah. So someone like talked to one of the producers about me or something, and then I got contacted by NBC
Oh, okay.
for an audition, and then
Nice.
flew out there in February for no like cameras or anything. It was just a room full of producers, and then they flew me back for the actual tape thing.
So they fly you in and you go into this room and then you do like 5 minutes of comedy, or do they ask you to do?
You just do
things?
your set. Like, it was at the John Lovitz Theater, so it was all these producers. And
Sure.
they had like your headshot and your bio, like you could see all they all had notebooks and stuff. So it was a little weird. Wanda Sykes was supposedly there. I didn't see her though because it was like two levels. So
well, she's she's the executive producer, right?
her and Paige is the other one.
Right.
So then and then they asked me a couple questions and then I left. And then a couple days later they called me back like, we're going to bring you back for the taping.
Nice.
But then that's when you signed the disclosure, so I couldn't tell
so you
anybody
couldn't tell anybody that you did it.
that I was on it.
Who? If I don't know. I know that like the owner of Acme, or the guy who runs Acme, he did a little bit of like recommending people to the producers. Is that who recommended you to Last Comic Stand? Are you allowed to say?
I think Andy Smith said she had talked to somebody, so I think a couple people had talked to different people.
Okay.
So I don't know exactly who.
So it was just a multiple kind of.
Yeah. So, and then I've auditioned for the show before too, so I think I was somewhere in their records. Hopefully,
Sure.
I don't know.
They'd heard of you before.
But somebody did, so I'll thank everybody.
Take this time, Tommy. To really, I want to thank my mom for giving birth to me.
Yeah.
So when you showed up in that room, where your first audition, how many other people would you say that were with you at that time, or auditioning that day?
I don't know. There was tons of it because I don't know. I mean, there's different numbers that they keep throwing out, but because when I first came back for the 100, I felt like I was like, oh, it's just everybody that was there. Maybe they were just trying to make sure you weren't like insane or something.
Sure,
like
yeah,
that.
right.
But then I heard people didn't. I'll move on. So I wasn't sure, but I don't know what I mean. Some people said like 1,000, but there were. But I don't know if they flew out all or we're doing some tape stuff. So and then I've heard. I don't know.
Okay. Yeah, the thing that I noticed this year, and I didn't watch all of it, but I watched most of it. But the thing that I noticed this year is there was a lot more familiar faces from Minneapolis. Mm-hmm. So do you think that it's getting a little bit more exposure now, or do you think someone's has some pull that they were like, okay, we got to get more, this is the next, not big thing, but, there's a lot of comedy in this state too. You think there was something going on with that?
Maybe. I mean, because like Last Comic used to come to Acme when they would go to the clubs, so I think they've always known about Minneapolis, and then I think everybody just kind of auditioned well, so they liked us all, and like everybody that flew down for Minneapolis got passed on and moved on to like the taping for the hundreds, and then I was the best one of them because I actually moved on to the semifinals.
Sure. Yeah.
But no, I mean, so I think they know that there's a talent here because now like they're going to be doing another like Last Comic Standing showcase thing or something, but they're scouting the clubs themselves. So
okay. So basically, they're looking at doing some kind of just like a tour. Is that kind of what they're trying to put together, or just?
Yeah, I think so. I think they're watching sets again or whatever.
Nice.
So.
Has anybody talked to you about that?
Yeah, that's coming up. I think they're going to do that on the 24th.
Oh, nice.
So different cities have been having them all over. So I don't know if now they're doing them. It seems like a bigger search, and then it seems this makes more sense, like flying people out to the clubs to watch them rather than flying
everyone
random talent into like. But
so this is for the next season, is what you're talking about?
Yeah, this is for 9 now. So.
Oh wow.
Very cool.
That's right around the corner.
And so the same thing goes for that, is you have to be sort of invited to be in that showcase, right?
Yeah. So.
And that'll be at Acme, probably.
Yeah.
You meet any of the judges?
I didn't meet them personally. I only got to see them when we were like doing the taping. I did get to meet Wanda Sykes because they taped like this kind of mentor. Like she would go over your last set, like when I moved into the semifinals, so that was kind of cool. So you got to talk to her, and then even after my semifinals set, like I was walking back like to the green room, whatever. They take you out of the theater and out, and she was walking by because there's like trailers and stuff, and then she like gave me a hug. I was like, "Wow,
that's cool."
Just gave me a hug. So it was such a good experience. Like even after I didn't move on, like. You got like interviewed by a psychologist because we'd been there for like a week. Like I've been spending so much time in LA, and then they were like, is everything okay? And I was like, this is awesome. Like, she's like,
do you think anyone was like, no, this fucking sucks?
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, some people were upset because it is. I mean, and
sure,
your
it's a lot of
brain's
nerves.
going, and
it's
yeah. So but
it's so much nerves.
but
Well, and
nobody was. I mean, everybody knew coming in that you're only one person's going to win.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, ready to lose.
And it's like, even if you don't get that far, you still got exposure, so that helps too.
Yeah,
at the end
that's
of the day.
That's what I was excited about.
It's a credit either way. I mean, it's
Yeah.
a credit you can now put on your.
Yeah, just sending that clip out looks good to bookers, and
Oh yeah,
my parents finally are proud of me. They're talking to me again.
they're accepting of your career choice.
Exactly.
Well, and I've heard. So the other thing I was going to ask you is I've heard. Just from, I think I was talking to Darlene Westgore, and she was telling me a little bit about the Nick at Night Funniest Mom thing that she did. Mm-hmm. And she was just saying that sometimes it's so, there's so much stuff that happens like that day prior to your actual set in front of that crowd that, like, you know, you kind of shuffled around from makeup to wardrobe to this to this to this, and then people are just constantly like talking in your ear and then like doing stuff or whatever, and then you finally get out there and there's like was there a teleprompter?
No,
for your jokes?
There was just the timer. There would, like, a clock would click at like 30 seconds. It started counting down, so you didn't go over your 4:30.
Is that how long you got? 4 minutes and 30 seconds? Mm-hmm. Okay, that's an interesting. Probably for 30 seconds for the judges, right? Is that kind of why they did that?
No, I mean, like, you would do your set, be done at that, and then they would talk to you after that.
Right, but I mean, like, it's weird that they do 4:30, not like 5 minutes.
Oh yeah, I don't know why.
There's probably some reason for
Pick that.
advertisement or
Yeah.
something.
Maybe, yeah, just for like.
Pretty pinched for time.
And they,
Yeah.
I don't know. Did they play? Did they play your full set on the, like, when they aired the episode, or was there, like, the full set came out later on the website, right?
Yeah, my full set was later on the website, because for the show they actually only showed one of my jokes, and then for the first episode they showed one joke and then a response from Roseanne, and then the second show they showed me like doing some weird stuff in the green room, and then another bit, and then the response. I don't even know if they saw the judge responses, because then they just said to move on. I actually watched the second one. I was in Australia, so they gave me, like, NBC gave me a streaming, like, a code, so I could watch
so
it and, like, live tweet. But
Nice.
like, I was on this island because my buddy's getting married, so I had, like, weird Wi-Fi and like a Starlight. But so that was kind of crazy too. But
That's super interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so, how long were you gone for this entire? You said a week.
yeah,
Or
like
was
the
it
first time they flew us out for like a day, and then like you do your audition and flew back, and then the next time it was like that again, but then they held me an extra day because I moved on, so then I had to stay for like interviews, and then the next time it was like the semifinals was like for a week because they did the Wanda Sykes segment, so you had a lot of time to like
Really
think about your set and stuff, which I don't know helped or hurt.
Sure.
But,
Yeah, time to get into your own head.
Yeah, but you also had to already have your set approved by standards and practices, so once because you had to get that in, so then I was kind of like, well, this is the set I'm going to go with. So.
What'd you think of, I don't know if you had a chance to, that guy, I forget his name, I think was it Ben? The guy who sort of, he did that bit where he opened up his notebook and just stood there for like a minute and a half and like paged through his little notebook, and then, and I'd seen him perform at the House of Comedy before. I forget his last name. It's like Ben.
Is it Kronberg?
Kronberg, yeah. So Ben Kronberg, and and then Roseanne got all with him.
Yeah.
Did you like?
Is that part of his bit, or what is it?
I don't know. I wasn't there for that taping, and I haven't seen that much of it. I mean, I know he's got. I think he's got like Comedy Central presents. I think it was probably one of the smartest things he's done.
I
Because
agree.
More people are probably going to remember him for that than
most of the other funny
people
comics
in the,
or whatever.
the top
right?
five. So.
Well, so how much interaction did you have with the other contestants? Like, did you get to watch their stuff?
No, they didn't let you, like, right before your set, you would walk on, so you could kind of see the person right before you go on, but you were just held in different rooms and then hanging out. But it's fun. I mean, it's like, because you kind of meet, when you do stand-up, you keep meeting people all over.
Right.
So, like, something like this or festivals or like that, it feels kind of like comedy summer camp, because you get to see everybody, hang out all at once. You're kind of all excited because you're getting TV credits or whatever. But
Right.
Everybody was in a good mood. Like,
oh, for sure. Well, except for like right before you have to get on, and all of a sudden you're like racing in your head. About what
then
you say.
then there is like stress. Like for my interview though, like the cameras are on, and I was like, just have fun. Everybody have fun. Like, but that's always been my advice in stand up. Like when I got into it, I was like, this is fun, and once it stops being fun, I'm not going to do it anymore. So
right.
How long you been doing stand up then?
It'll be 10 years in January.
Wow,
so
nice.
this is my first open mic. So,
What was the date? What was the date of your first open mic?
January 5th,
Nice.
2005.
Do you celebrate that date? Is it an anniversary kind of thing for you?
You ever go back and watch your old
sometimes.
material?
Yeah.
I do.
Just think about
Yeah.
but somebody did tape my very first set. I've never got to see it because I told my family not to come. Like I was doing it at Acme.
Right.
My cousin and my uncle both snuck in because they knew I was doing it. And my cousin did tape it, but I've never gotten the tape.
My first set was at Joke Joint. And do you remember for like a while they were doing that like Comcast on demand taping thing?
Yeah.
And so I was there one night and I signed up for like a couple weeks after, but they were doing a Comcast on demand thing and Ken realized that I'd never been on stage. So he's like, let's do it in style. Let's break your comedy cherry in style. So I went on stage for the first time on the comedy Comcast
So they
on demand thing.
Aired that later, so you got to see your very
it was,
first set.
It was my very first set,
That's
and it aired it
crazy.
like a month afterwards.
That was your very first set?
on demand.
Because
yeah.
I remember watching that on Comcast when they were doing that whole thing.
Yeah, that was me. And I remember I wasn't ready for it, and I was in high school still at the time. And I remember I was wearing this like Hollister shirt with this huge Hollister logo, and they were
Yeah.
very specific about you can't wear logos for that on-demand
yeah.
taping
You went
thing.
shirtless.
And so I told Ken, I was like, "Hey Ken, I don't know if I can do it. I'm wearing this Hollister logo thing." And he goes, "No one knows it's a Hollister. It looks like a bird to me." And I'm like, and I was like, "All right, whatever, that's fine." So I remember, I think the date of that first set was September like 14th or 18th. Like that was the first time. September like 18th.
Yeah, that
I
was
think.
right before that huge lawsuit against Comcast from Hollister.
from Hollister,
and they just
right.
took the whole company went
Some
down.
comic was
Good idea,
wearing
Yeah,
that.
yeah. I remember that. Those are weird times.
Sued Acme into oblivion.
Is Joke Joint still open?
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're
they're in Lilydale now.
yeah, they've got their
Lilydale.
own standalone location, which is
Where's
nice.
Lily?
Yeah, where the fuck is Lilydale?
Never even heard of that.
Right, like south of St. Paul, like
Oh, okay.
directly south of St. Paul. It's like if you go down 30. Well, who gives a shit on the podcast? But
Yeah.
go 35E. It's like right there,
Oh, okay.
right before
Right.
like the bridge.
So what are the places that are still around then? You got Acme, you got Joke Joint, you got that House of Comedy. Is there any
Yeah.
other ones?
Goonies.
Goonies.
Goonies
yeah.
in Rochester. Dangerfields now is around.
Did you hear that they
and
got flooded?
I could imagine they're right next to a river.
Yeah, they got flooded, like to the ceiling flooded.
Yeah.
And it's not.
Maybe
good.
they'll redo their frickin' 1980s interior.
That's true.
They can't. I mean, it's like it was all tile. I had a
Yeah.
feeling, and like the light, the way the plugs were, everything. I feel like they
Probably been
kind of
flooded
yeah.
before.
somewhat designed it based
Right.
on like this is probably gonna flood.
I went to high school with the kid whose dad owns Dangerfield. So.
Oh man. So does that affect the whole restaurant then too, or was it just the basement?
I think it was just the
part?
basement. Because I just talked to Darlene last night, and she just worked. She just worked Dangerfields for Thorne, because I think Thorne's booking that right now. And so she's like, it was flooded to the ceiling, and they had to like really figure out some of their electronics because they have that like stage, which is
Yeah.
just kind of that little platform with like the shower curtain behind you.
Yeah, yeah.
And then
Crazy.
it was. I hadn't been there. I did the last show right before they closed down for the summer. So
I saw
last-
that one. Yeah.
Yep, you were. That's right.
Yeah.
You went to that one. It was like in June, I think, like right before, because they don't
Yeah.
do shows in the summer. They just come back in September.
It was like
and
the
start
last
up
week in
again.
June.
Was that place in Shakopee? Right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Just like right there,
Right by
off
the
of
river.
13.
Yeah.
Yep. So I would imagine they definitely did. They definitely did get flooded.
So when you started comedy, then was it easy for you to do? Was the reactions pretty quick on it, or did you have to really grind it out and kind of find your own style, your own voice?
I felt like it came easy. I mean, I definitely like had to hit open mics and practice.
Sure.
Like the first time I did it, it went pretty well, and then I told people not to come, but my uncle, my cousin snuck in. But then when it went well, then I told a whole bunch of people. I was like, "You gotta come! I'm doing this open mic." So then a whole bunch of coworkers came, and the second time I totally ate it.
Yeah.
Right.
Usually
And
happens.
Some of those people are still like, "You're still doing comedy." That's all they have in their memory is that. But yeah, and then I just fell in love with it because there's nothing like it. So
Sure.
I had been a theater major at the U, so I was like, I'm gonna be an actor. And then I got into stand up. I was like, I'm doing this. This is way easier than
Right.
Yeah.
acting with people.
So you already had the background though, as far as like performing in
Yeah.
front of people.
Yeah, being on the stage. I mean, I was comfortable up there, so
Yeah.
that was good.
That always helps too.
Yeah, I feel like comedy was kind of like that for me as well. Like it was like gambling. You know, if your first set goes well, you're like, oh, I gotta come back.
Yeah.
You know, like if you win a bunch of money on your first night or something, you're gonna be back.
Yeah.
You're gonna like,
Yeah.
and the next night. And I had a
That's-
good set my first time too, and then after that, I ate shit for a good year. And then
Yeah, I mean, you definitely get hit those ones, but you'll have if you have. I don't know. There's something that always brings you back.
when I did it, well,
a thrill.
Greg knows obviously that I did it because we did it for a while together. But when I
Gross.
started doing it, like I
Super
had
gross.
Yeah.
I had no experience.
You could have phrased that a little
Yeah, sorry, doing stand-up comedy. I had no experience whatsoever, ever performing in front of people, and didn't know what I was supposed to do. So, like, I remember sitting in my basement and with like a speaker system with a mic, trying to like do an hour because that's what I thought. I see. I had no background, you know.
Yeah,
what I mean?
yeah.
So I was trying to do an hour, and I'm like, because everyone else does an hour, so you have to have an hour, And then I go to my first open mic, and I'm like, I asked the guy, I'm like, so how much time do you get? And he's like, 5 minutes or whatever, and I'm like, oh, okay. And then I just panicked because, like, I had all this setups and shit for it. But I don't know, how long did I do? I can't even remember, Greg. Was it a year or two?
How long did you do comedy? I don't remember.
Probably 2 years.
We went to Goonies together all the time.
Every Thursday.
Because I was still like in high school at that time, I think, or like freshman year. I think it was high school still, and I didn't my parents weren't as cool with me just driving all the way down to Rochester every Thursday, so I'd just go with Matt and we'd smoke cigars.
Yeah,
I remember that he'd buy me some like Phillies or something, and then just like throw the pack and be like, smoke up.
Because I did, because when I started, that's how I met Greg. Is it
was cigars and Gardettos.
Gardettos, exactly.
What a good mentor.
Yeah, it's a good diet.
Mentor. I'd been doing comedy longer than he had at that point.
But no, I think we met at a bar, because of bars used to do the open mics and stuff, and there was like 6 people. And then shortly after that, probably like a month later, I did Acme. Like I put the star by my name and, got up or whatever.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's not like I killed it, but, people were laughing. And I'm like, oh, this is what it's like when people laugh because there's 350 people in a room versus 6.
Yeah. It makes a difference.
A big difference. And then basically, we just go to Goonies all the time. And I did a couple guest spots there and emceed a few times. And then it was pretty much done.
I love the open mic at Acme. And I like and I've recently grown even more fond of it, and I think it's because of the people, and I think it's because of the comics and how seriously everyone takes it most of the time. I think, because I've been to a couple of other open mics just out of state, just in another on my way to another show or something, and I stop at an open mic, and it hurts for me sometimes to see these really awesome open mics. Like I'm talking well attended, great clubs, and the comics are all just kind of bullshitting and doing a bunch of back of the room material for each other. And I'm always standing in the back going, do you guys not realize what a great thing this is? Because I think that people are a little at least people who have not been. All right, when I went to LA for a week, just to go and hang out, I stayed with Nick Anthony, whatever. We went to a couple of open mics. Those open mics were shit. I mean, they were terrible. It was all a bunch of comics who were waiting to get on stage. There was no real audience members.
Yeah.
There was 30 people just milling around talking while you're on stage telling jokes to essentially nobody.
Where did you go?
Dude, I went to Echoes on Sunset. That was terrible. I went to there's one called Cock and Bull. I went to that. I went to the show in Burbank.
Oh, okay.
I mean, they weren't like Comedy Store and Laugh Factory open mics, but
that was the first, because when I went to LA for the first time, and I was so used to Minneapolis,
right?
I went to visit this guy Chuck Bartel out there.
Oh yeah, I know Chuck.
And we went to the Comedy Store open mic, and there literally was nobody there. I think I went up third because the show goes on forever,
till midnight
then
or
they
1.
Had the friends, so then audience just kind of comes and goes or builds later. But
yeah,
and I was like, I thought this was Hollywood. I thought it would be
right, yeah.
But no, I mean it was just so.
I think in LA it's all about showcases. It's all about getting on people's showcases and finding those cool little shows, that you can be in.
And then it's in those smaller shows that are, but like even Nick and
the
Dave Wade, they packed it in, and those are the shows you want to get on.
Those things are sold out every week, and I don't know how he did it. I mean, I do know how he did it. They get a really great lineup every week or every month, and it's a really cool environment, But I know it, and so the whole point of what I'm trying to say is that it really sucks to see people who have really great open mics that they can use to actually really work on jokes, but seeing people just kind of mess around and just do a bunch of back of the room material for
Nick DiPaolo was talking about it one time too. He just said whatever. He was talking about Acme, and he said it's the best club in the country, and he's performed everywhere. He said it's the best club in the country. He said whatever they're doing at Acme, he said that needs to be going on everywhere because they do it perfectly. And he even talked about like the open mic, like every Monday it being it's sold out, you know?
Yeah.
And he's like, whatever they have going on over there, they have to brand that to other comedy clubs. He's like, people, you know, he's like, they hang on every word. They're quiet. They're respectful.
Yep.
You know, he's like,
For the
it's
most
the
part.
best club, you know, in his opinion, in the country.
Yeah.
It's a really great club. It's super stressful for people who don't work there yet or are trying to work there, I find.
Yeah.
So Tommy works at Acme. Tommy is one of Acme's comics. So
Nice.
I am trying to work at Acme, and it is super stressful and kind of anxiety-ridden for me at least because it's like Acme is really good about like keeping closed doors about all the stuff about like. And I'm saying all of this in the best, like, I know it might come off not great, but they don't like to talk about their process of hiring comics and all that stuff.
Yeah.
They keep that pretty secretive. And for people like me who are, like, trying so hard to work there, it's scary sometimes because, like, you don't get on one week and you're like, did I do something wrong last time? What did I do? You know, is it my fault? Fuck, am I ever going to get on again? And it's
Yeah.
like this constant, like,
What do you
thing.
mean? So you work there. So what does that mean to work there?
I mean, I got hired because when I started, I mean, you go to the open mic. It is stressful though because you go, you wait for this list, you put your name
Yeah,
on, and
right.
then sometimes you're on, and then for further you go, like sometimes you'll get 5 minutes, and you're like, what does that mean? Is that that's
Oh, yeah,
good
that's a
sign,
good
right?
thing, right?
I'm moving up in time, and then
Yeah.
you know, so but my process, I mean, I was in school too, so I couldn't come every Monday. Too,
Same,
so,
yeah.
And then I thought you had to have a new 3 minutes every time you went,
Oh, okay.
which I think actually helped me. Like,
Sure,
because I
true.
was
Help
Yeah.
you build up your
because they do want to see you do more writing or whatever. But I really nobody could really figure it out. Like I kept asking people that did work there, like, what should I do? And they're like, just keep writing, keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
they went so.
Yeah, that's what everyone says. And if you even talk to the Monday night manager, and maybe it'd be really cool to get him on as a guest and just talk about what it's like to like run it. I mean, I'm sure he can't talk much about anything, but
Yeah.
it'd be cool to like at least have him talk about like what it's like to be a manager at a comedy club and stuff, like anything that he can say.
Yeah, that'd be-
but
Yeah, because when I did it, I did it one time at Acme when I put my star up there, and I had a pretty good reception. You know, when I did it, yeah, I didn't kill or anything, but when I got done, I'm like, okay, I'm going to show up next Monday, and I'm like, all right, I know I'm going back on. Next thing you know, it's like I'm not on. I'm like, what
Yeah,
the fuck?
yeah.
So,
Oh, yeah.
You know, I'd show up again. I'm like, I'm not on, and then
it'll take
it just-
months to get back on again.
And then I just got frustrated and started going to like Goonies because I know that I would get
Yeah.
up there every single time.
well, that's how it works.
But then you were going to Goonies, and which I didn't mind the drive too much, but holy shit, some of the people that they put up got way too much time. They would put up some people that do you remember that time we were at Goonies where there was a guy that went up and literally was doing like Eddie Murphy Raw, like material right off of Eddie Murphy Raw.
Did he wear the outfit? Because
No,
then he's
no,
allowed.
exactly.
Yeah, the outfit.
Exactly. No, he was just standing up there, just doing straight material, and I'm like, "Am I the only one that's fucking hearing this?"
I'm
Like,
sure
there's
you
no,
were not.
no, I know I wasn't, but like, I couldn't believe it that what's his name again? The owner,
Mark.
I can't believe that Mark or someone else just didn't pull him. Just be like,
Well,
dude.
the way it works at Goonies, I think, is, I mean, I think at first, if you go down to Goonies now, because you haven't been there for a while, it's like, it's a little tighter down there. Like, it's not like not everyone's getting 7 minutes of Goonies anymore.
Okay.
I don't remember last time. Have you been to the open mic recently?
I've never gone to that open mic.
Oh, you haven't?
I don't think. Yeah.
Yeah, they don't. He doesn't let but the thing is that it's tough for him. Is that a lot of like Minneapolis comics will go down there, and he kind of feels like he kind of has to. I mean, kind of has to give some time.
they drove up,
yeah, they
it's
drove
an
an
hour
hour.
drive.
You got to give them time, And the Rochester comics are. I mean, I don't want to badmouth anyone, but I mean, certainly, I think the caliber is a little below the Minneapolis. But that's not really their fault. They just don't have as much access to open mics and like the stuff that we have access to here in Minneapolis. I
Yeah.
would say.
It is funny though when people first start comedy, like you don't really like because if you don't have a background or don't know, like I mean him doing Eddie Murphy, like my dad when I started, he's like, you should listen to some like Bob Hope and then do like his stuff,
yeah.
and I was like,
Right.
no, you gotta
Yeah,
write
you
your own.
gotta
He's
write
like, well,
your-
why don't you? But this is really good. Do his. Like,
Yeah.
no, that's not
Yeah.
what you do.
Well, that's like my buddy was saying that too. He's like, because he didn't really know too much about it when I was doing it, and he's like, so you just get up there and like do like David Tellin stuff like that, and I'm like, it doesn't work that way. Gotta use your brain. But
that's funny what you said earlier too. Is I guess I wonder how many people do like think that they're about to get into comedy and think that they got to have an hour, like. Because I mean,
There's no manual for it.
right.
No.
There's
no
so many
instruction
people you meet at the very beginning of like doing comedy. Excuse me, who are like, yeah, I think I got a good 15, 20 minutes. Like most like new comics will way overestimate how much time they can do.
Yeah, I have a notebook just numbered, like these are all my jokes, and there was like 100 something.
Right.
But if I narrowed it down, there would have been like 8
Right.
usable. But I was like, yeah, I probably got like 2 hours. And like, no, these are all
Put me on
premises.
Comedy Central now.
Like, yeah, that's just a website. That's
Yeah.
but
Do you get sick of talking about comedy? You want to talk about something else? The Vikings, Saints,
oh man,
anything?
I just listened. Yeah, that game was.
You a football fan?
I like Minnesota sports. I like football. I like baseball, but it's hard to be in Minnesota.
Yeah, it's hard.
Yeah.
Sports fan? Yeah.
But yeah, I do like sports. I'm not like I'm terrible like remembering like names and stuff like that.
Oh, I'm
like,
the same
not,
way,
I'm
sure.
not like, but I enjoy like watching the game.
Yeah.
And then like Minnesota Twins, the team changes like halfway.
Oh
through the
yeah,
season.
like I can never keep track.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, the my buddies are like that too. They're really into football, and they're calling the penalties before the ref even calls
Yeah,
them.
yeah.
I'm like, how the fuck do you see that even?
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, I totally saw that holding on that right guard right
Well, he's
there.
like, it's always like that. It's like,
encroachment,
the
10
plays,
yards.
yeah, the plays even that. He's like, yeah, it's holding.
Yeah.
Number 40. They call it, and I'm like,
I'll take it back.
Much
That's
fucking
pass
football do you
interference.
gotta
Number
watch to, like-
24 defense.
Right.
but they watch like college football too.
Yeah.
So it's like, I guess if you watch that much shit, you can pretty much predict
Yeah.
what's going to come out of the ref's mouth at that time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you listened to the Vikings game today on the way back?
Yeah, I was listening. It was a
Rough.
pretty good game, actually. I mean,
Wow.
for what they had, it was impressive.
We just couldn't produce.
Yeah.
Well, and Asiata is like the backup running back is coming in, and he's got to,
But he's not bad.
Right, but he's got to fill some big shoes, and
Sure.
maybe he's filling Adrian Peterson's shoes. Speaking of which, do you have any opinions on that?
Yeah, let's just casually
swing over to the whooping.
segue. Yeah.
I think it's terrible. I don't think you should hit a 4-year-old, and I feel like he deserves whatever. Yeah, cut him from the team or
Yeah.
whatever. Like, don't. That's my opinion.
Quit
So,
hitting 4-year-olds.
Yeah.
No, I think that must have been a rough transition
Yeah.
for the Vikings to sort of jump in and like, all right, well now we've lost the only player that anyone knows from our team.
Yeah, and they're like
Cordero.
the face of the franchise.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. This might be kind of a weird season.
It's rebuilding, right? That's what
Yes,
they like to
always,
say. Rebuilding
always.
again.
We've been
That's-
As
rebuilding
long as
for
I've
20
lived
years.
in Minnesota, which has been 21 years,
It's always
it has
been
always been a
rebuilding.
rebuilding season. Even 2009 with Brett Favre when we went to the playoffs, still a
Did
rebuilding.
we go to the
season.
Super Bowl that year?
No.
No.
When was the last time we were in the
One
Super
away.
Bowl?
Last time we were in the Super Bowl was
A
probably
long time ago.
late 70s.
Fran Tarkenton.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Late 70s is the last time we were in the Super Bowl?
Yeah.
I would say probably late 70s.
Yeah.
The one Vikings game I saw live was the 98 when he missed the field goal.
Oh, you were at that game with the
yeah.
Falcons?
Oh,
That
I
was
didn't hear about
exciting.
that. What happened?
Our field goal, Anderson, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think he hadn't missed like any, and it literally would have gotten us into the Super Bowl. That was the game, right?
Yep.
Yeah. And then
the championship.
and he missed it.
Did he get
Like,
burned
and
at the stake later?
I mean, practically, I don't
Was
know.
it
I'm sure
Gary?
he
Was it Gary Anderson?
Gary
Yeah, I
Anderson.
think so. And
Yep.
then and it wasn't like an impossible kick, like
No.
but he just
It was
missed
like 40
it.
yards,
missed it.
something
Yeah.
like that.
This was in 98?
98.
Me and
Yep.
my
Oh,
sister
see.
went because my dad got tickets, and then he was gonna bring me, but he's like, "Well, I can't. I should just bring my son, you know, because that makes so." He
Yeah.
just gave the tickets to my sister and I, so it was pretty sweet. And then
Oh.
it was
Yeah,
super
pretty
sad.
sweet.
But
Yeah.
that was like it was a great game. It was when Randy Moss was. at
Oh,
his
Randy
peak,
Moss.
like-
And was that Chris Carter era, too?
Yep, yeah.
Oh.
See, that's
What a
I guess
player.
I missed that right. I missed that right because I came to America in '98, but I came in March.
Speaking
So-
of the '90s, this is way off topic, and I don't know how old everybody. Greg, you're pretty young.
I'm
but
33.
Tony's even younger.
I'm the
than me.
youngest,
I'm
21.
33.
You might know this reference. So at our show, I was opening for Judah Friedlander.
Mm-hmm.
This guy Mike Gams came in and did a guest set on Thursday. He's from LA, and he works with Andy Dick a lot, I guess.
Oh,
right?
sure.
So he's pretty cool. But he was hanging out with this guy, and I was like, I feel like I recognize this guy. And then we were out getting pizza after the show, and it was he told it was Jesse, who was an MTV VJ.
Yeah, Jesse Kemp, yeah.
Yeah, in
Yeah,
1997, and
Yep.
I was like, no way! Like,
Does he still got the hair and all that
yeah,
shit, too?
like he had it was
jeez.
so nuts, and like he was super nice, and like I didn't like Jesse was outside when Mike like said that, but we came in and I was like, I was like more starstruck than him than working with Judah Friedlander, who's been on 30 Rock for 7s. But I was like, that's not. He won an MTV VJ contest. Like America voted him in. He's all
like
goofy.
7'11", just this tall, lanky guy.
Super tall. He was so nice. And
Who is this guy?
this guy,
Jesse Kemp.
Yeah,
He was.
he won an MTV had like a national win MTV VJ contest, and he like hands down won it like
What's
crazy.
VJ?
A video
Video
like jockey. Like they would do like Total Request Live. They would, like Carson Daly and
Okay.
Kennedy were all like just you
And
got
when MTV used to play music.
Yeah.
Oh,
right,
okay.
right before reality took over
Yep.
completely a reality TV. But yeah,
Video
so
jockey.
Is his voice all fucked up? Like, is that his real voice? Because he was kind of goofy on like.
it was. I mean, it was like it was him. He was
That's-
the
so
same.
that's
yeah,
him.
and just kind of goofy and total like, looked like a rocker. Like,
Yeah.
I was just like, that is nuts.
So he was just in town with that.
Yeah,
with
he
the other
was
guy?
on tour with Matt, and like he was taping. Like Mike said, they were going on like like, from New York to like Omaha and back to LA, like all kind of these doing like alt clubs, and then did that. Got the guest set at the Comedy on State, but it was yeah, it was crazy.
That's cool.
So, and then I didn't know what I wanted to post it on Facebook and tell everybody, but then I don't know. I got nervous.
Are people gonna know who this is?
yeah. I was just like, maybe I should just keep this for me.
Yeah.
This is the one.
You enjoy it.
Yeah.
That's
All
cool.
that matters.
Yeah, that was just talking with these guys. I throw out references sometimes, and it's tough, right
Yeah.
over the top of the head. But
Well, then tying it back, I think Gary Anderson missed that field goal because of Jesse.
Yes.
Somehow. Had something to do with that.
exactly,
Yeah, there we go. Bring it all back.
He was thinking about him in his head.
Yeah.
can get his hair out.
He
of
was
his
like,
head.
"What's a VJ kick?" Like, VJ sounds sexy. I want one of those.
See, that was the year 1990. So the '98 Vikings. That's when my mom, because my mom is a huge Fairweather fan. I think like a lot of people are in the state
Who's
of Minnesota.
Fairweather quarterback?
No, you understand what Fairweather means. No, but she was. I mean, that was the year that she got really into the Vikings when we were doing really well, and like. I was probably 16 in '98. I didn't really pay too much attention to it, but I remember her watching it. But the last time that it was, well, just recently with the Saints, that's when I was like super
When
crushed.
Favre was, yeah.
That was another one where I was just like, I went to work the next day just pissed.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, I mean, that should have happened too. And I can't remember exactly. Like, for some reason, Favre tried to run it when he should have just thrown it.
Yeah.
And-
Too many
Yeah.
men,
it was
too many
like-
men on the field for the penalty. Just
Yeah,
stupid
yeah,
shit.
stupid. Really
yeah, it
ran
just killed us. That was a tough moment to be a Minnesotan.
Just no-brainer penalties
Yeah.
is all
Oh,
it was.
yeah.
You know, just stupid shit
Fucking
like that.
Saints.
And then my boss at the time was from Green Bay, and he was a huge Green Bay fan. And he told me at the beginning of the season, as I kept talking to him, I'm like, "Oh, we got Favre, we're going." He's like, "Dude, he's going to destroy your hopes and dreams. You just
Yeah.
watch, man."
Yep.
And that was before the season even started. And I came back to work the next day, and I'm just like, "Don't fucking say it." One of the first things he says, "I told you so, dude."
I think he was. I think he was sent as like a mole infiltrating the Minnesota sports team
Yeah.
from Green Bay. Like they sent him as like a double agent. I think is how that worked out.
We had then we had the whole, Bountygate thing, with the Saints and stuff like
with Sean
that.
Payton.
I think you're thinking of Watergate with Nixon.
Bountygate with the whole Saints thing, and then didn't Favre have something on his head at that point too? I think he had some kind of a bounty on him that year,
Where they were trying to.
injure him,
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
for more
They're-
pay.
Yeah. I don't. That was a weird thing. I still don't understand how that.
Yeah, I don't really understand like how it
happened?
went down, but no, they had a
They had
couple years
bounties.
ago they had bounties
The Saints,
on
like a
quarterback.
shit ton of the Saints admin got huge penalty or huge
Bonuses.
fines and shit like that because they were running a system where they would give bonuses to players to injure other players.
Yeah.
Oh,
So you put a bounty on Brett Favre's head for $50,000. You break Brett Favre's leg, you get $50,000
Yeah.
or something like
and then
that.
he fucked up his ankle during that game.
Yeah.
So they were intentionally trying to.
What if he hurt
injure him.
himself? Would the Saints give Brett Favre?
Nice little bonus for him at the
That's
end.
how they found out. They're like,
Yeah.
oh, we probably should have just paid our player. This is a terrible idea.
everyone's got a price. Well, okay, so shit like that happens in the NFL, and we kind of.
Well, that used to happen all the time. Like, that used to be, like, the thing that you did, like, in the 60s and 70s. Like, that's, like, bounties were all the rage.
all the rage.
Yeah.
Was hey you.
It's just what the cool kids did.
Yeah, with like the Al Davis Raiders and stuff like that.
Yep.
just basically hiring felons.
Yeah,
I mean,
come on
there's
and just
tons
fuck
of
up
that
other
stuff
people. Yeah.
going on.
They should extend that. They should let the fans get the bounties too. Like everybody should be in on it. It should just turn into a massive wrestling. I'd like to collect some bounties.
Well, like could I
I'd go to way more football games.
could I accept a bounty from Green Bay to find Cordarrelle Patterson or something and take him out off the field or something like that?
Especially
like poison him or something.
Put a bunch of Legos in the shower, man. Their feet are gonna hurt so bad. Yes.
Give him the Joffrey treatment.
Yeah, turf toe.
I still don't understand what that term means.
Yeah, I don't
I've been
really
watching
either.
football for
I felt like they just wanted to get Bridgewater, and they're like, "Yeah, he's got turf toe.
Turf toe.
Yeah, he's got
there we
for
go.
the rest. Let's give Bridgewater."
He has fibromyalgia. It's a sudden onslaught of fibromyalgia.
He's having complications with his transvaginal mesh. That's right. If any of you watch the Game Show Network at about 1 a.m, you see a lot about transvaginal mesh.
Apparently, it's a big problem that women are facing.
Wow,
Their transvaginal mesh is just getting all kind of fucked up.
interesting.
I don't even know what a transvaginal.
I don't know.
mesh
I think
is.
it's.
No. I had it explained to me, and it's not anything that I really want to explore on the air.
It is the name of my new album.
Yeah.
So check out that 2016.
So you
Drop
got
in 2016 transvaginal mesh or mesothelioma. That's another thing you hear about all the time. I'm not quite sure what that is. Sounds devastating.
And asbestos.
bursitis.
Mesothelioma. That's not even an easy word to say. Mesothelioma.
The bursitis. That's another one. I think a lot of
heard of
these
that one.
diseases are just kind of they're there, but they're kind of bullshit.
Well, I'm pretty sure fibromyalgia is just where you're tired and things hurt. Like, I think that's how it was explained to me one time.
So every day.
Yeah, you're just
a normal fucking day.
you're just tired and things hurt. Like,
called
that's
getting
what I
old.
heard.
Like 7 a.m. to
The commercials
8 a.m.
were like, "There is no cure, but we have therapy or whatever." For
Right.
it. That's what I.
There's no. It's like what people claim when they don't want to go to work. Like, I've got
I got
so much fibromyalgia. We're gonna get hate mail from people with fibromyalgia. The fibromyalgia support group is gonna call us.
Oh,
and be like,
Greg, you think people are listening?
So you mentioned something about a CD coming out.
Well, that's not the real. That's not the.
Oh, I understand.
Well,
yeah.
Yeah,
What an incredible coincidence.
I am recording a new album in November. So
Awesome.
that should be out fairly soon. Probably in 2015 then.
Where are you recording it?
At Acme.
At Acme.
So,
Is it gonna be an hour or half an hour? What do you?
it should be an hour. I'm co-headlining in November. So
Nice. Okay. Very
We're
cool.
gonna record it there, and
What are you doing with Stand Up Records?
yeah,
Awesome. Dan Schlissel is the owner of Stand Up Records. He's a local recording artist for comedians in the Twin Cities. Actually, very, very talented guy. He's recorded albums for Stanhope, I think. He's done Stanhope.
he's got a huge roster. Maria Bamford,
Yeah,
Stanhope,
he's done a
Hannibal
lot of really
Buress.
awesome, he really is someone to know, I feel like.
Yeah, we're lucky to have him in Minneapolis. 'cause
Absolutely.
Nice. So they're going to do video with that, or is this going to be audio only?
This will just be audio.
Okay.
I've kicked around an idea of trying to do a special or something, but
Yeah.
Like a self-recorded and then just submit it to Netflix or something?
yeah. So
Is that how that process works with video? You just basically you do it on your own. You just kind of shop it then.
some comics do that. Others, like Comedy Central still does their half hours and hours, and it's so weird though. Comedy Central pumps those out now. I don't even know, when Swartz and Days and Dane Cook, you would just see those specials over and over.
Yeah.
And I feel like a special comes out, you see it once and it's gone.
it's
And
gone.
that's it, yeah.
I think Netflix is the new venue basically for watching people's specials.
I agree.
Tom Segura put one out, and I'm assuming somebody produced it for. I don't know.
That's awesome.
But
it was
It's a
hilarious.
really, really
it's a
good
really-
special.
Yeah. So there's these great ones coming out, but
I think that special really energized his career. I know that I was recommended that special by and I know Tom's I've seen Tom
you hadn't
Segura.
seen him before. Yeah.
I've seen him. I haven't seen that special. And then someone was someone said to me, they were like, "Oh, dude, you gotta watch someone at work was like, you gotta watch the Tom Segura special." I'm like, "Oh, I've never seen it." So I went and saw it, and it was awesome.
Yeah,
And
it's the
super
best.
funny. And I think you can pretty much. I'm pretty sure you could just submit anything to Netflix if you want.
Yeah. Maybe, I don't know. I'm sure there's some.
I'm sure they have some guidelines.
Well, they might not put it on, but I know I was just in a film. There was an independent film, and they're going to submit that to Netflix, and
Nice.
I have a feeling that I mean, I've seen some really shitty independent films on Netflix. I'm hoping.
So is it when you just
You're
send
hoping that
back
yours could be
when you
among
send back the
those.
Netflix DVD, you just stick your DVD in?
Yeah.
You're like, put that in your put
business
that in
card.
the that's
Check this shit
I put
out.
an extra one next to the Good Will Hunting. On top of that is my movie. So
If you guys could take a look at that
just-
real quick and
yeah.
just see what you think.
On top
Record
of Bridget
that.
Jones' Diary.
does anybody still get the actual DVDs? Mailed
I
to
did
them?
until about 2 months ago.
And then you're like, no, I'm just gonna stream.
Yeah, well,
Fuck it.
I'm gonna stream, and anything that I can't stream, I'm gonna find some way to get.
Oh, okay. On a
I'm gonna
non-Netflix
find some way to
site. Wow.
yeah.
You're gonna go to
Dubious
jail
methods.
someday.
Yeah, when I was at college though, I used to watch like 5 Netflix DVDs a week. I would I'd just get them and keep sending them.
Yeah, I'd be proud of myself when I did get up into like how fast I could get like a
Right.
month
Oh,
to make
yeah.
up like yeah, I'm making my money's worth or whatever.
Yeah, no, you'd set like a big queue, and then you want to just plow through them as fast as you
Yeah,
can.
yeah, like get them and then mail them out the next day.
Yeah.
Basically.
I think I still get the DVD, but I never use that portion of it. I do all the streaming, and then I just let my mom and my sister use the DVDs because
Yeah.
it's not that much extra, and they
Sure.
always have the time to watch DVDs. I don't even have time to watch movies, ever. I found that like I started watching Sherlock. Did you watch Sherlock at all? Great show.
Yeah, I did.
Awesome
I did.
show.
I didn't finish it though. I've tried a couple times.
It's
I think-
long. It's
yeah,
hard
yeah.
to get. It's an hour and a half
takes
for each
dedication.
episode, and you're like, for me, the point of watching TV shows is that I could like watch 1 or 2 and then go to bed, and then it's not like a big thing. But with those Sherlock episodes, I don't think I watched a single episode all the way through because I felt like I was constantly like, oh, I don't.
Yeah,
this is long. I gotta go to bed.
I always get frustrated though when people rave about a show, and if I can't get into, it, I'm like, something's wrong with me.
Right, like it's your
why do I
fault.
keep falling asleep
Yeah.
or watching this at the wrong time? But I've been watching Californication now. That show's great.
I've heard that's a really good
Yeah,
show.
David
actually.
Duchovny, like kind of just a like Bukowski-esque writer guy, and yeah,
Californication.
yeah.
And what's like the premise of it? I've heard it's great.
He's like this writer that's kind of like a Chuck Palahniuk. I mean, he's like writes like
like all
yeah.
transgressive.
yeah, like
fiction.
autobiographical, but like
Right.
but he's like this kind of like sex guy, like just like all
Sex
these women. I don't
guy.
know, like
Yeah.
it's weird, like not like a sex addict, but maybe, but it's I don't know.
On some level.
Yeah, and I don't know. I'm describing it terribly. Like Netflix is like, or the show would be like,
Netflix
please don't push
Yeah.
our show anymore. If you're going to talk about it like that, you need to describe it better.
I will ask
But-
that you refrain from any kind of further descriptions of any kind of
But
Netflix.
my friend, he put it. He goes, "Welcome to Duchovny's later work." He goes, "I call it Sex Files." So instead of X Files, so maybe that'll be.
Wait, was,
that'll
was
sum it up.
David Duchovny the guy from X-Files?
Yeah, he was older
Yeah.
in the X Files.
Dude, I never watched X-Files. When I was a kid, my dad, I used to be really scared of that show, and my dad would freak me out with that show every time it would like come on. I used to like, I would hate the song that.
Oh,
It would freak me out so bad. So I've never seen any X-Files because it was just like the scariest show to me when I was a kid.
That was a great show. I used to watch it all the time.
It's not even like a scary. It's not like actually a scary show. It's just about like aliens and stuff, right?
Yeah,
Okay,
there's
so
some
it's not-
creepy ones though. There'd be weird ones.
Sure, but like not like
Like
it's not like a
Cancer Man.
horror show, right?
Not necessarily, kind of. It's
Kinda like
kinda-
the
it's
Twilight
science
Zone,
fiction,
like-
but it didn't focus all on aliens. Like they had different like characters, like Cancer Man and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And there was,
That guy that shed his skin or something.
Cancer Man.
or was it the Smoking Man?
What was Cancer
think it's
Man's
no
Smoking
superpower?
Man.
Does Cancer Man have a superpower?
I don't. Well, that I don't know.
He sounds like a really
Weird.
bad superhero.
I think it was more like he was like an informant
Yeah.
about stuff. He
about
was just-
cancer.
no, he just smoked all the time.
I used to get afraid of Rescue 911. When
Yep.
my mom would watch that, I would run to the other room because I knew something bad was going to happen. And then once it would happen, I'd come in because I knew they would get rescued. But I'd be like,
I used to sit there, like, I would watch Unsolved Mysteries when I was a
Okay,
kid,
yeah.
too, and not be able to fucking fall asleep. Like, there was a few of them that I remember specifically. There was one where, did you ever watch that show when you were a kid?
Unsolved Mysteries? Oh, yeah.
There was one where they were talking, and it was always the ghost ones. The
Matt
other
finally-
shit really didn't bother
Matt
me
finally
too much.
found
but-
someone that he
Right.
can talk to.
Yeah.
Matt finally found someone who's closer to his age that he can
Yeah,
make.
I think
references.
I think it's going to take off.
Yeah, I'm gonna
You
head
want to
out
come
if
back
you guys
here
are
on
cool.
Sunday mornings before the football game?
There was one where they were on the Queen Mary, you know, the ship or whatever, and there was a woman that worked on the Queen Mary, and she was going like up the escalator, and she looked back, and there was no one there, and she looked back one more time, there was like a guy standing behind her,
man.
and then looked back again, and he was gone. That scared the living shit out of me. And then there was another one where like this house was haunted. And it was haunted from this like bunk bed. They bought this old bunk bed, and that's what they think was like the cause of the haunting. But like he ran outside, thought the house was on fire and stuff. It was like freaked the shit out of me. And that was those two I just remember vividly not being able to fall asleep. After
Now, when they did the ghost ones, did the guy come in and be like, "We are still looking for these ghosts. If you see them, please contact authorities immediately."
There was never, because they would have
Contact authorities. What are the authorities going to do?
The ghost authorities, man.
If you see them, contact Mike Brody immediately.
Yeah. You're a comedian ghost hunter.
Because what they always had was, I remember it would always be like update. And it's like, this guy's been caught. But yeah, you never had an update after the ghosts or alien ones. Yeah, that show was great.
I remember when I was a kid, I was really scared. I think I saw a show kind of like that about a kidnapping, and I used to be so scared of getting kidnapped when I was a kid. I don't know what it was about kidnapping that freaked me out. But I was
We grew up in the Ukraine. It happens like
true. And there's a lot of gypsies in Ukraine, and they were known to maybe kidnap some people. I'm not even being like racist. Like that actually happened in Ukraine all the time.
Crazy.
I know, yeah. And so I remember being really scared of kidnappers, and I remember there was a distinct point in time where, for a while, I felt really safe when it was raining outside, because for some reason I felt like kidnappers wouldn't want to go through the trouble of like getting wet to kidnap.
Oh yeah,
someone.
they hate the rain.
like because it was raining.
Kids all damp. You got to change their clothes.
Yeah, they're made of sugar.
I felt safer for some reason when it was raining. Like every time it would rain, I'd be like,
Oh, mold in the back of their van.
I'm safe today. No one's gonna kidnap me in the rain. They gotta
Untouchable rain day. I'm gonna go play naked outside again.
So every time I'd like be done, and like anytime I'd get like really scared of getting kidnapped, like on any given night, I would just sit there and like just pray for rain. I just wanted rain because I, for some reason, felt really safe when it was raining.
Did it ever work?
I haven't been kidnapped to this day, and so clearly my rain dances were absolutely helping.
Some theory behind it. So I think we'll probably wrap up pretty soon.
Yeah, let's wrap up. I think that's why don't you plug some of
Let's put some plugs in.
some of your social networks. Where can people find you? And
Twitter at Tommy Ryman. My website TommyRyman.com. I got a show coming up at Acme on Halloween week.
Nice.
So that'll
be
fun.
there or be square.
Yeah.
CD coming out in 2015.
Yes.
And you have a CD out already, right?
Yeah, Bath Time with Tommy. If you want the old album.
Nice. They can find that on iTunes.
Mm-hmm.
And Spotify. I'm pretty sure you're on Spotify, right?
Yes, I think I'm on all the stuff.
Nice.
Pandora's and Spotify's and
MySpace.
Are you on XM
Yeah.
radio? Very cool.
Also, XM, all like Raw Dog and stuff, or comedy networks. Nice. That's
Very
cool. That's good.
Cool.
Well, that's great. So definitely buy the CD, buy the old one, check out the new one.
Yeah.
Go see you live.
Go watch Last Comic Standing on YouTube.
Exactly.
Yeah, just to watch
Clips
clips.
on
Tommy Ryan.
Yeah.
Listen to XM, everything.
Yeah.
Appreciate you coming in.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, especially
This was
after
fun.
4.5 hours of driving. I didn't expect you to want
Yeah,
to
it's been a good day.
Yeah.
And the Vikings.
A lot more
Yeah.
sitting.
What can you do?
Yeah.
So, other than that, if you want to check out the show, you can always download it on iTunes. This episode is obviously live on Ustream as well, but you can download this one. And then we had the episode from last Thursday that is going to come out
Our very
tomorrow.
special pizza edition.
The pizza
That was
edition,
true.
right?
Very,
They'll come out at the same time. I
Vietnamese
think.
man edition.
So that'll be happening pretty soon as well. So you should be able to find these.
Thank you, guys.
We'll see you next week.
We'll see you next week.
So, all right. Thanks again.